Orioles go 1-2-3, still trail the Falcons 1-0 here as McConkey continues to slice and dice in this Peoria Sunday Morning League.
I want to take a quick second here. We were just alerted that we were not getting sound for our broadcast. We apologize for that, folks. Not sure what the holdup was or the deal was there. I tested it out beforehand and all was working fine, but just were alerted of that, and lo and behold, looks like we were not getting sound. So we apologize for that, folks. Again, good news is we caught it relatively early in the game, but still wanted to make sure that we got all that for you. Jonathan Michael, Brock Stotler here in the booth with you for the Peoria Sunday Morning League Game of the Week here on Clutch Sports Media. Again, not quite sure if it cut out or in the middle of our broadcast or was never there the whole time, but either way, hope you've enjoyed following along, at least with no sound so far. Hot day here in East Peoria. Dave Rogers Field at the East Side Center for Sunday Morning League Game of the Week. Falcons put one on in the bottom of the first on an RBI single from Ethan Sosnowski. He brought in Noah Campbell. That's been the only run so far, but Clay McConkey, the Falcons ace, has been rolling so far here today. One of the most legendary pitchers in Sunday Morning League history. He's got multiple strikeouts. His Falcons will try and add on to their lead here, bottom of the second, with Chase Ulrich to lead things off. Ulrich hitting .300 on the year.
Ulrich also a fellow Eureka College player as well as McConkey. So Eureka College well represented on the Falcons roster.
Really is. It's funny, I was talking to one of the Falcons players and one of the league's senior advisor who was actually on the broadcast call with me last week, Tim Cundiff. Again, he's a playing member of the Miller Lite Falcons, and I asked him, a lot of these teams have players that, they have a little bit, they have a lot of players from a certain school, certain area. Like, I know Tin Lizard has lots of players from Morton, for example, players from Firehouse Pizza, multiple players from Peoria, Notre Dame, and Brimfield. I asked Tim, I was like, what's your sort of school? What's your kind of maybe recruiting ground, so to say? And he said that East Peoria has got the biggest presence on the Falcons, and that is certainly true, as well as Eureka College, too. You got McConkey as well as Ulrich here, so if you're a fan of either the Raiders or the Red Devils, then Falcons just might be your team here in the Sunday Morning League. Ulrich facing a 2-2 here from Cole Thomas, the Orioles hurler today. Again, in case you weren't able to hear us earlier, has pitched very strongly this season. 0.70 ERA, 1-0 record in 10 innings coming into today. And now the string has run out. Breaking ball grounded up line up the middle, I should say, and a fine play from Thomas.
Thomas flashes the leather there. A little comebacker right at him. Snares it right over his left shoulder. Nice play there from the pitcher.
We've seen some great glove work in our games of the week here on the Sunday Morning League, and that one is the latest edition of them. We saw a great play over at third last week. I believe it was one of the, can't remember the name, escapes me at the moment, but we saw a play where a player backhanded a ball from his knees, threw across to first, and got the out. I believe that may have been Toby Turnquist, if I'm not mistaken, as here's Brian Quinn, another one of those veteran stars for the Falcons, one of the league's best batters of all time. This is his 1,688th career at-bat in the PSML, but he's down here 0-2 to Thomas.
Voted one of the 50 best players of all time as well in the PMSL, so a very decorated player, multiple-time MVP, multiple-time champion, just really nothing this guy hasn't done out here.
Certainly not. He was actually the manager of this Falcons team for multiple championships, 4 of them. Their current manager, Lancer Licka, again, who's on deck right now, is led them to 3 championships. Swing and a miss there from Quinn. And Thomas gets the second out of the bottom of the second. And here we are, the 1,000th career at-bat. At least we believe, again, if we're not mistaken, for the Falcons manager Lancer Licka, voted the 2021 Manager of the Year. What a fantastic achievement for him. Again, one of many for this Falcons squad. So we'll see if the manager, the person who put himself in the lineup down at number 9, can help out his own cause. He said that the Falcons were a little bit shorthanded today, so maybe that's why he penned himself in there, but I'll try and get his second hit of the season.
Way to step up for the boys there, for the manager, too. A little shorthanded, comes into their aid. Let's see if he can get a knock here, keep the inning alive.
Looks at a ball low and away, and again, that's one thing about the Sunday morning league is, again, you got, mostly players that are currently in college playing summer ball, maybe some players that are going into college as well, a little high and in there from Thomas, but again, you also have some guys that just work 9-to-5 jobs. Maybe they have families, they got kids, for example, and maybe sometimes life just gets in the way. You can't make it out to the game, so never really, your roster on any given day can vary depending on who all can make it for some of those games. So that's another unique aspect of the Sunday morning league is Erlichas look at a full count here, 2 outs. Thomas brings it in low and away. Really? And believe it or not, Brock, that was the ultimate broadcaster's jinx. That was not the 1,000th at bat because it wasn't even at bat because of the walk. So we'll have to wait another inning for history to be made.
In manager thought, though, I think he'll be very happy with that at bat.
Yep.
Wait to get that achievement. Hopefully next AB.
Admittedly, I jumped the gun. Didn't really think about, it could be hit by a pitch. It could draw the walk, in which event the at bat there would be none, at least statistically. Is back to the top of the order here with Nate Bartman, grounded out to third his first time up. Again, that was right before we got on the air. They started a couple minutes early on us here at CSM, but I'm glad you've stuck with us here on ClutchSportsIsle.com and our YouTube channel. 0-2 here. And Thomas, the ICC arm, goes high and away for ball 1.
And Thomas has been really effective finding that outside corner for some called strikes here. He's really taking advantage of that outside part of the plate. Let's see if he goes back to it here for the backwards K.
1-2, and you said it, Brock. The backwards K, he got it. Some good movement on that pitch from the Cougars, a pitcher that we mentioned. Again, plays college ball right down the road, and he has thrown 2 solid innings so far, despite giving up 2 hits and 1 run. The Orioles still very much in this one. Top of the third coming your way here on CSM, but I want to thank all of our great sponsors again that made today's broadcast possible. BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League, and Brienzo's wood-fired pizza up in Peoria Heights. And last but not least, second to last but not least, Miller Lite / Baumgarten Distributing, longtime sponsor of the Peoria Sunday Morning League, and Lori Vinovich. Last but not least, your country financial advisor down in Tremont, Illinois. Give her a call at the number on your screen today, 309-925-3534. So it'll be the 8-1 hitters due up for the Orioles. It'll be the first time that Quentin McAllister and Mario Garcia will see Clay McConkey, and I think no matter how they get on base, if they can, that's got to be a W for Tim Campbell's squad, especially getting those players at the bottom of your lineup on base against such a strong pitcher. Maybe give your top of the order hitters like Parker Phillips and Eric Campen something to work with here.
And John, you were mentioning, I don't know if they could hear us when we were talking about it, but you mentioned the stolen base discrepancy for the Orioles. If they do get on base, they are going to look to run. So that small ball, maybe some bunts, just a single with a guy on second base could tie this game up here, especially when, it has been so tough to score off McConkey, and he's looked like he's got his ace stuff once again today as he gets another pop up here. Really
long run there from Ulrich. He nearly brought it in. Hat came off in the process, but doesn't make the catch, but not for a lack of effort. That one just really in no man's land.
That would have been an insane catch there from Ulrich. He went all the way back near the fence there in right field to go after that one. Loses the lid, like you said. And nice hustle there from the first baseman.
It's Quentin McAllister up at the plate right now. He's 2 for 8 on the year with a double and 2 RBIs. Again, that outside portion of the plate that McConkey likes, just not quite enough there. That one is a ball. Very hot, humid day, highest day reaching the low to mid 90s as that one had almost looked like nearly a foot of drop on it, but too far inside the plate there from McConkey. No wind today, though. Flags are laying limp straight down, so not going to get much help if you're trying to hit one out of the park here today.
You're really going to have to muscle it out here. Got to get a hold of one on a day like today.
Here's the 3-1. That's chopped over to the third base side. Quinn up with it, and the throw over. It goes out to a knee. They got him.
Boy, I'll tell you what an inning that Chase Ulrich is having right now. He hustles after that ball down the line, doesn't come up with the play, and then gets down to a knee, has a nice pick there to help his third baseman out and get the first out of the inning.
More good plays in the field. It's been a coming to theme this season on Clutch Sports Media, so I don't think it's the fact that we're here. I think it's just the fact that, this is some high-level baseball, that the Sunday Morning League, the oldest amateur baseball league in America, is 109 years now this season as Mario Garcia foul tips that one. He's now behind 0-2. Garcia this year is batting .200, right on the Mendoza line. He's got 1 RBI, but scored 4 runs this season. So he is certainly a threat if he gets on base. He has 3 steals.
I'd say that if you're the Orioles, this is the guy you want to try and see if you can get on base as much as possible today, create some havoc on the base paths, swipe a bag or two, get on second, third base, get in scoring position.
How about Garcia? Does not use batting gloves.
I was going to say bold choice on a day like today for sure.
Well, they can hang on to that bat. The 1-2 is called strike 3. Broke at the last second. Garcia a bit caught in stupor there. Wasn't expecting that one to be called, and frankly, Brock, I wasn't quite sure either. But again, umpire a lot closer. And, you never, it's about where the ball crosses the plate, not where it ends up, because it ended up in the dirt. Shows you how much movement McConkey has on those curveballs. As you see it again right there, just loops in there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really showing off his full arsenal today. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of stuff moving east, west, north, south, dancing all over the zone. Just really tough to hit.
Bring your compass if you're facing Clay McConkey. You're going to need it. He's leading the league this season in strikeouts and wins. Already now up past 30 strikeouts on the year after his 2 2/3 innings so far. Orioles still looking for their first hit. Back to the top of the order now. It's Parker Phillips. Plays at Illinois College. Swing and a miss there.
And the Orioles only had 1 base runner, and that was Campen back in the first inning on a throwing error from the shortstop. Got all the way to second base, was left stranded. So let's see if Phyllis can keep battling here and get something to hit.
If you're the Orioles, I think after a while, depending on how the outcome of this game goes, I think you're just going to want to be trying to put balls in play. If you put a ball in play, you at least have the chance that you could reach on an error like Campa did back in the second. If you strike out, don't put the ball in play at all, well, then that doesn't give you any chance at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Phyllis, like we said, doing a good job keeping it alive here, looking to get a pitch to hit. He's also doing a good job making McConkey throw some pitches. It is hot out here as he dials one back in there, though, for the backwards K. And McConkey goes 1-2-3 yet again for the Falcons.
Clay McConkey, one of the best pitchers in PSML history, is doing his thing here today on Clutch Sports Media. And it's a privilege that we get to see it, Brock. But again, not sure if people were able to hear us earlier on, but in case you didn't, we knew that we were going to get a great pitcher on the bump today for the Falcons, regardless of who it was going to be, whether it's Clay McConkey or David Ellis, who's 1-0 in 10 innings pitched, has not allowed a run or a walk this season, along with 15 strikeouts. So he's been on it. Bryce Seaton, Peoria Notre Dame graduate, a recent one, is pitched well this year, as has Brian Quinn as well.
I think another thing that's just really impressive about this Falcons pitching staff, I think every time I look down at this paper for the stats, I just see something that's more insane. They've only walked 14 people this year, John. Like they're just never putting anybody on base, and that's just such a benefit to your defense to never have to worry about getting sped up and worry about the catcher worrying about someone swiping an extra bag, and if you were to give up a home run or an extra base hit, not multiple runners come in to score. So just a really good job of keeping guys off the base paths this year for the Falcons.
It's almost hard to believe that they're only 5-2 this year. I mean, it's still good enough for second in the Sunday Morning League as it stands right now. The Poor Bros Jacks, again, if memory serves me right, leading the league. We'll see them next week on CSM against the Moose Smart Mariners. But Falcons right there in it, and Brienzo is hanging tough in the middle of the pack as well, looking to pick up a big middle of the season win. This one would be probably one of their best of the season, as the dogs are barking and Cole Thomas is throwing strikes. That one comes in.
As Campbell was
hit
by a pitch in that second inning, or that first inning, by Thomas, one of the few base runners he's allowed this game as well.
Campbell's had a couple of bats this year, but overall not too many. Lots of chatter here in the stands. Good crowd on hand. This one popped up in the infield and put away there by Dalton Strode over at shortstop. And again, I think if we were to make a recommendation, I think this may be the day where we recommend people to maybe stay home and watch where there's air conditioning in the comforts of your own home, because it is, again, we've said it multiple times, and I said it again, it is very hot out here today.
And maybe in the comforts of a pool as well. If you've got one of those. Those would feel pretty nice this time of year.
I tell you, I was talking to our camera operator, Francisco Alonso, before the game, and I said I was feeling my back underneath my shirt before this one, and I felt I'm like Paco, it felt like I just came out of a pool. That's how sweaty I was. But thankfully, it's starting to cool down a little bit. Clouds are coming in and settling to be a pretty good evening here. So the worst is through, as that one rides inside on Cam Scott, hits him in the ankle or shin area, and that'll be the second hit by pitch the Falcons have drawn here tonight.
Falcons getting on base in a couple painful ways tonight, but they'll take it, especially since Campbell came around to score the lone run of the game on that RBI single from Sosnowski up to this point.
Take them however you get them, and we talked about how tough of a task it's going to be for Brienzos to score on McConkey tonight. But again, I don't want to sell Cole Thomas short either. Again, just came into tonight with a sub-1 ERA, as Ketchum gives a big hack and a miss there. A night and day difference from his ERA numbers from his past spring season with ICC, where his ERA was nearly 10. It's 9.68 ERA. Now it's below 1 as this one is skied up in the air. That is a major league pop out there, and it's put away by Phyllis out in center.
Dangerous hitter there, and Ketchum. Way to get around him. Nice, some weak contact there from Thomas. Fly out to the center fielder. But you mentioned it, John. Like if you're an ICC baseball fan or invested in the ICC Cougars at all, you gotta like what you've seen so far this summer from Cole Thomas, as he's been one of the more unhittable pitchers so far in the summer league.
Thomas says the runner goes, got a great jump, and there's no chance of getting Cam Scott there. He was halfway down to second by the time that the ball was released.
And he's a run scorer, got 7 this year for the Falcons. Gets himself into scoring position here with 2 outs.
You mentioned he is a run scorer. 7 runs is number 4 in the Sunday Morning League. Again, so far this season, Scott was a all-star back in 2023. Was a two-way player last year. This year he's been almost exclusively just a position player, but still providing some big impacts. Here's Sosnowski, had that RBI single back in the first. 1-1 pitch is low and in. Sosnowski is a rising junior at Augustana College up in the Quad Cities, Iowa-Illinois border, Rock Island specifically. Swing and a miss there, and evens the count up at 2.
Nice pitch there by Thomas to get back even. And a real good hitter here in Sosnowski.
Sosnowski this past year with the Vikings hit .216, 3 homers, and 6 doubles. Fared a little bit better here in the Sunday Morning League this year. This one, though, popped up in the infield and put away. That's 3 pop flies for the Falcons, and they strand Scott at second. Cole Thomas, another quality inning of work, and quickly through 3 here from Dave Rogers Field here in East Peoria, Illinois, the East Side Center, one of the best venues to play really almost any sport in Central Illinois. You can have the football stadium and track over there. You got the basketball courts and volleyball courts and the indoor complex there beyond the right center field wall. Baseball, softball, soccer fields, you name it. It's all here at the East Side Center. I want to thank them for being such a gracious host to the Sunday Morning League. Been playing here for over 2 decades. I also want to thank all of our great sponsors as well that help make today's broadcast possible. BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League, comes in all sorts of different good flavors. Almost any fruit you can imagine, BodyArmor's got a flavor for it. It gives you great hydration before, during, after the game. Maybe even just mowing the lawn. Requires maybe a little bit more effort this time of the year as well. I thank them for being the official sports drink of the PSML, and also by Brienzo's Wood-Fired Pizza up in Peoria Heights for great pizza, drinks, and just overall great time heading over up to the Heights. Brienzo's, and also by Miller Lite / Baumgarten Distributing. It's been a local staple here in the Peoria area, as well in the Sunday Morning League. Again, I want to thank them for another year of their support of the PSML, and by, again, Lori Vinovich, your local country financial advisor in Tremont, Illinois. Give Lori a call at the number on your screen for all of your financial advising needs.
Eric Campen up here for the Orioles. Only base runner they've had so far. Let's see if he can put together a nice AB here against McConkey and continue it going.
This one is hit well into right. Brienzo thinks it's out. It's gone. It's a home run from Campen, and there's that run for the Orioles.
And, John, we were saying that you really have to get into one to get one out of here today with no wind, and Campen surely did that one. Hits that one to dead right center field. Long gone there. The crack off that bat was impressive.
How about that hack from the rising sophomore from Monmouth College? He just took a Sunday Morning League legend deep for his first run given up of the entire season. So McConkey goes 20 innings exactly without giving up a run, but once he crossed that 20 threshold, Eric Campbell said, all right, buddy, time for you to give up at least one, and Brienzo just tied it all up.
And there's been some good at-bats today against McConkey. Williams in that first inning stranded the runner at third, but he hit a ball pretty hard. A couple other ones, and then Camp in there obviously really got into one. So maybe the Orioles starting to see McConkey a little bit better here.
Didn't think we'd see many home runs today, if any at all, especially given there's no wind. You're facing Clay McConkey, but Campen did it there, and Orioles dugout right after contact. They were saying, get out ball. They were cheering. They seemed to know right off the crack of the bat that one was gone, and he put a charge into that. So it'll be up to Adam Williamson to try and follow up that act. Williamson is 2 for 8 on the season with a double and a stolen base. Primarily a pitcher, but it can play two ways here for this Orioles team.
Had a nice season hitting at Loras College as well, hit .271 last year, so can definitely swing it as well as pitch.
I'm gonna double check, and either hit .271 either in the Sunday Morning League last year or at Loras, but either way he gets on base. There's 2 straight base runners now for the Orioles, and boy, the second time through the lineup has been a lot more fortunate here for Brienzo's. First time through, he struck out about 5 times, but the second time through, you got a home run and a walk. We'll see what Colton Williams can do, another ICC Cougar. Williams was one of the biggest sluggers on that Henry Sinakwine team out from Class 1A that made a run of the state title game back in 2023. Hit nearly 400 that season for the Mallards. He's down now here 0-2. As a pickoff attempt, Williamson dives back safely. I think here if you're Williams, nobody out, runner on, I think as successful at bat is just somehow moving Williamson over in a scoring position.
Yep, absolutely. Stay out of the double play here and see if you can get Williamson to second base.
Williamson will try and steal second. The throw beats him, but it's offline. And there's that base running we talked about from Brienzo's. They are going to be aggressive. We knew it coming into today. And Williamson has his second steal of the year.
A little bit of a delayed steal there from Williamson. Didn't really go until after the pitch was delivered. It didn't look like able to get in safely on the errant throw. Nice heads-up base running there, though.
Well, Williams strikes out, but Williamson does move on over to second, so that not eliminates, but significantly decreases the probability of a double play for Dalton Strode, who grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Back in the top of the second. Strode and his teammate Mason Heitzler both go to Joliet Junior College. Heitzler is not in the starting lineup today. May see him later on, though. He's got 6 RBIs to lead the Orioles this season. So the pair of wolves, as I believe Joliet Junior College is called, are helping them move along in their second year of existence. Strode behind in the count now, 0-2. We'll see if McConkey can come back from that home run and walk with 2 straight strikeouts. Comes to a set position as a bee flies onto my nose. Hello. That one chopped over to right. That's going to be a tough play. McConkey races to the bag, and he beat out Strode. Oh, McConkey, he can throw some mean pitches, but he can also put on the wheels as well.
How about the defense we've seen from the pitchers tonight? Cole Thomas caught a comebacker right over his right shoulder earlier in the game, and now McConkey getting off the mound, getting down to first base, hustling to beat out the runner down the line.
And Williamson, speaking of runners, moves on over to third, but 2 outs now here for Jack Moylan, who can give Brienzo's the lead if he can reach here. Moylan came into this one hitting .294 with 5 hits, 1 run, but no RBIs. It would be a heck of a time for his first right here.
You've got to take advantage of opportunities like this with runners in scoring position. Left a guy stranded in the first. Let's see if they can prevent that here.
That one is lifted high and foul. So 1-1, even count here for Moylan. You definitely don't want to get into a 2-strike count here if you're facing McConkey, because he has been almost absolutely lethal in those situations. He gets the 2 strikes, he smells blood, and then he'll just finish you off as he throws in strike 2 there. We'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, it's his ability to just hit that outside part of the zone over and over and over again. He's gotten a number of those calls. It feels like that's kind of where he's aiming when he needs to get to 2 strikes. Just knows he can find it.
Goes inside there, maybe perhaps hurt us, maybe try to keep us a little bit off balance as well, but nearly grazed Moylan. 2's wild here, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 total runs here today. One after that Eric Campen solo homer from the Orioles. That one sails high. Moylan thought about swinging but pulled back.
Good eye there by Moylan. Like you mentioned, John, looked like he really wanted to swing at that one, showed some self-restraint, laid off, works a full count.
Big pitch here from McConkey to Moylan. 2 of the best players on their respective squads. This one chopped back to McConkey. He'll trot over to first and underhands it to Chase Ulrich. That will extinguish the threat, but not before Brienzo ties it all up. A big blast to right center field by Eric Campen, his first home run of the season. And the Orioles have tied things up here as now halfway through at Dave Rogers Field. We'll take a look at other games going on in the Sunday Morning League tonight. This is actually the first of a doubleheader. These 2 teams will play again right after this one, although we won't have that one for you on ClutchSportsIL.com. Our contract with the league says we got 8 games this year, so even though there's some games that would be easy to do, I want to make sure that we'll be back next week, which again, we'll have the Poor Bros Jacks against the Move Smart Mariners. Should be a good matchup there. 2 teams near the top of the league so far, so tune in next Wednesday again at 6 p.m., ClutchSportsIL.com. But back to looking at the games going on tonight, we got the Tin Lizard Titans up 2-0 on the Firehouse Pizza Expos, and the Cruisins Reds are having their way with the Peoria Legion, who is not a member of the Sunday Morning League, but gives teams another team to play when someone has an off night. So, and they're sort of the fill-in team. Those games won't count in the standings, but Cruisins ahead 12-2 against the Peoria Legion right now, and then later 8 p.m. tonight, okay, there'll be the doubleheader between the Falcons and Orioles, and then the Poor Bros Jacks will face the Coles Diamond Gallery Royals. That one will be a big one between the Jacks, who lead the league at 6-2. Diamond Gallery Royals are 5-2 right behind them.
Thomas back out here for his 4th inning of work. And after really limiting the damage in that first inning, only giving up a run with multiple base runners on, has been really, really sharp.
Yeah, you mentioned that first inning was sort of bumpy as Cole Bakai lifts this one to center, and Phyllis back on it, makes the catch out there. Some, I don't know, would you say 350, 375 feet away from us or so, but yeah, you had those 3 base runners back in the first inning. Since then, he's allowed just 2, one of them via a walk, other one via a hit by pitch. This man, though, Chase Ulrich, did not reach his first time, lined out back to Thomas, who made that great play. That one swung on and hit well to center. Phyllis again, should be an easy catch, and makes it.
Nice quick inning here from Thomas. Couple pitches, 2 outs already. 2 flyouts to the center fielder, Phyllis. Let's see if he can complete the hat trick here and get one more.
He's And one thing I want to shout out, even though that was pretty much a can of corn there, as really both of them were for Phyllis out there in center field. These outfielders, really a lot of them, especially the center and right fielders, have to deal with the sun a lot, especially as it's setting. It's at the angle comes into your eyes a lot more. So, we do see some outfielders at this time of the night, lose some balls in the sun, but not today for either squad. Is Brian Quinn. It's set to hit here. He struck out his first time up. Back in Quinn's college days, he was a Western Illinois Leatherneck, but he grounds this one over to short. And Dalton Strode fires it over to Moylan. A 1-2-3 inning and a quick one at that. I believe just 4 or 5 pitches, I think, for Thomas in that bottom of the fourth.
That's exactly what you want to do, especially after your offense feeling good about themselves, just scored a run that last inning. Want to have a quick inning, get them right back out there swinging the bats.
That's a good point, Brock, is Brienzo's, again, just has had 1 hit so far today. Falcons have only had 2, but those hits have been big ones. That RBI single from Sosnowski back in the first, in case you're just joining us. Falcons put 2 runners on with 2 outs, and then Sosnowski brought in Noah Campbell for the first run, and then Eric Campen had that big solo shot to right. So I believe we're 3 for 3 in seeing a home run on the Sunday Morning League Game of the Week on Clutch Sports Media this year. And, those, maybe you go to a Major League game, okay, you're probably going to see a home run or 2, maybe even more. Sunday Morning League, though, again, wood bat league, a lot of these players maybe playing with wood bats for the first time. A lot of them use the metal aluminum bats in college ball, easier to hit a lot farther there. But this is a league where defense and pitching are at a premium, and so you don't see those home runs as often.
Certainly don't, and you certainly don't see a ton that were as far as Eric Campen's. That one got out, and his teammates from the dugout knew it almost immediately. Pretty much a no-doubter to right center field, so just a very impressive swing of the bat for him.
It'll be the bottom of the order for the Orioles here in the top of the 5th, moving right along here in this one. Garrett, McAllister, Garcia, pending any pinch hitters, but it will be Garrett to lead things off. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. Back in high school, Garrett played for the Normal Community Ironmen, who had a heck of a season this past year, went 18-0 in Big 12 play. Obviously, needless to say, won the conference, and looking like they were going to make a deep run in the playoffs before they lost to a very good and, really in my opinion, underseeded Bradley Bourbon A team in the sectional semifinals. Tough loss there, but they've been a great team year in and year out.
Nice pitch there again from McConkey to swing the count back in his favor, 1-2.
And 2 strike counts is where McConkey's thrive. This one grounded back up the middle and off of McConkey's glove. Nice play, though, and recovery from Campbell over at short. He retires Garrett.
And, John, that's usually a tricky play sometimes when the pitcher's glove gets involved, can slow it down, throw it on a different line. Nice concentration there from Campbell to field it, make a strong throw. Good job from Ulrich on the other end to squeeze it.
So that'll bring up McAllister. He grounded out to third his last time up on a nice play made by Brian Quinn. So, again, lots of good plays in the field tonight, and that is only exacerbated, I wouldn't call it a problem, but the predicament that both teams are in trying to manufacture runs with 2 very good pitchers on the mound here tonight. That one fouled back and out of play. McAllister, back in high school, he was an LVC minor. The co-op between Lewiston, Spoon River Valley, and Cuba. Big swing and a miss there from McAllister, who's 2 for 9 on the year, a double, 2 RBIs, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. Would have to put up a good fight here to draw his first of the year. That one low and in the dirt, and he'll even it up.
Good eye there from McAllister, not offering at that tough pitch in the dirt. That just looks so enticing with 2 strikes.
See if he'll get a pitch to hit here. He does, but he doesn't connect. Another strikeout for Clay McConkey. Again, we will verify, but I believe now that gives him 7 strikeouts here tonight.
Yeah, I've got 7 as well, John. 7 strikeouts for him with still a couple innings left to go, so certainly has a chance to add to that number.
It gives him 1,053 on his career. He reached that 1K mark last season. He was a All-Star honorable mention. Another big curveball just loops in there to Mario Garcia. See if he'll try and just finish him off right here. That one fouled off. Bakai isn't quite sure where it is. Garcia, not quite sure what happened there. Garcia moved all the way over to second base.
Kind of a wild play there, John.
Not sure what that was, if that was perhaps a catcher's interference there, but either way, Garcia ends up at second base. It's like, you see Bakai kind of pounded his mitt there, a little upset about that one, but, well, after that, Garcia up at second base. This is an opportunity for Brienzo's that, one that they maybe wouldn't have expected, but one they want to take advantage of is now it's Parker Phillips, who's got 2 strikeouts here today.
You absolutely have to make Miller Lite pay for that mistake there. Get a guy into scoring position, 2 outs, which should have been a strikeout, gets to second base. Got to drive him in here if you're Phillips.
I think that was a dropped third, rather. As that one is laced into right center field. This is going to score Garcia. He is going to come across, and the Orioles take a 2-1 lead. Parker Phillips, with his first RBI of the season, comes at a great time. And Brienzo's, after going down 1-0 early on, puts up 2 runs in 2 straight innings. And nice job, nice piece of hitting there by the Orioles left fielder.
A really nice at-bat there, right on cue. Phillips drops one in to right field and drives in a run, gives the Orioles the lead. Big at-bat there for number 4.
And not quite sure why I was confused by how Garcia reached. That was definitely a dropped third strike there. It wasn't quite sure if he swung. Didn't see much of an indication. But my eyes were on the ball and where it was going, and good awareness again by Garcia to keep on running as well as take second. If Bakai is able to locate that ball a bit quicker as well, I think maybe you're looking at Garcia maybe being at third base right now rather than scoring. So it could end up to be a game-defining play potentially. As here's Campen now. That one ripped to the left side, and that's a fair ball down the line. Phillips is going to run fast. He'll be held up at third, though, at a double for Eric Campen, who has been hitting the ball very nicely today and throughout the season. That's his third extra base hit of the year.
Second one tonight as well. Doubled up his total coming into the game, so really nice game for Campen, seeing the ball really well from McConkey. Another hard hit one there that just got inside the bag on third base.
Now this is a big opportunity for Adam Williamson. Got 2 ducks on the pond and 2 outs. Base hit here could make it a 3-run game. It is this one lined to right, but it's just foul. Brienzo's almost put line drives down both lines in back-to-back at-bats. McConkey ahead in the count, though, 0-2. trying just to get his team back in the dugout and give them a chance to tie this one back up.
And much like Thomas did in that first inning, does a really good job of limiting the damage. 2 guys on, leaves them stranded with the strikeout. Does give up the run, but it could have been a lot worse.
Just went right down the middle on that pitch, and Williamson couldn't catch up to it. But the Orioles score Mario Garcia. The go-ahead run on the single from Parker Phillips. And how about the Orioles? A win today would give them already more than they had the entire season last year. They're first in the Sunday Morning League, so they're looking to make a statement here tonight in the Sunday Morning League Game of the Week on Clutch Sports Media, presented by BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Sunday Morning League. I want to thank them for their support and being a part of this historic amateur baseball league, and also Brienzo's Wood-Fired Pizza up in Peoria Heights. Great pizza. You can customize it however you want up there. Good drinks as well. Got TVs to watch the game, perhaps even tune into the Sunday Morning League. Brienzo's up in Peoria Heights. And as well, Baumgarten Distributing / Miller Lite. Now, thank them for their support of the Sunday Morning League and give them a big shout out as well. They have been league sponsors for quite some time. We'll figure out how long in just a minute, but also want to thank Lori Vinovich, your local country financial advisor in Tremont as well. Give her a call at the number on your screen. There's been multiple Miller franchises in the Sunday Morning League. This one began in 2000. And the first team sponsored by Baumgarten was all the way back in 1965. And in 1980, that team became Miller High Life. So, lots of history here with Baumgarten Distributing, which, again, longtime sponsor of the league. I want to thank them and all the other team sponsors here, including Cruisin's, Firehouse Pizza, Poor Brothers, Tin Lizard Bar and Grill, Move Smart Group, Cole's Diamond Gallery as well. As here we go, Cole Thomas will deal to Lance Orlicka. This is the 1,000th at-bat for his career. It drops in for a single. How about that? He dropped it in no man's land, and the leadoff man is on for the Falcons. And what a way to remember your 1,000th at-bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta love that it ended with a hit as well for Orlicka. Nice impressive swing there. Just golfs that one in between the center fielder, second baseman, and shortstop. Little Bermuda triangle drops it in between all 3 of them.
There's a couple Bermuda triangles out there in the field, and that is one of them, and he hit it there. So big opportunity now is Nate Bartman is scoring to bunt. And honestly, I don't mind that call right now, as at the moment, while Orlicka, the manager, is at first base, Peyton Bradford, number 4 for the Falcons, a 2022 ICC grad, is assuming the role of third base coach right now. Swing and a miss there from the former Metamora Redbird, as Thomas is looking for his 4th strikeout of the game. Looks down before firing the 0-2, is about chest high outside. Bartman doesn't chase there.
See if Bartman can work this back into his favor here. Doing a good job so far. Takes 2 straight balls. Counts even.
2-2 now. And runner on first, nobody out. Falcons trying to regain their recently lost lead. This one is popped up. It should stay in play. Moylan has an eye on it and makes the catch in foul ground. Fighting the sun there, but was able to find it and put it away. That's where you're glad you have good sunglasses right there if you're Jack Moylan. As now here's Noah Campbell, who hit by a pitch back in the first, popped out back in the third. And he looks at one there in the dirt. And this is a big place here now for Cole Thomas. Again, ICC Cougars pitcher, and he's going to be facing some of the best hitters, not just on the Falcons, but in the league here coming up, with Cam Scott on deck, Luke Ketchum in the hole, hanging on to a one-run lead. So this is sort of kind of good big game practice for the young arm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned, there's a lot of good bats out here, and getting through and putting up a performance like this has certainly got to give a guy like Cole Thomas a lot of confidence.
That one has popped up as well. This one should also stay in play. And it drops in. Williams couldn't make the catch to retire his ICC teammate. You know, lots of Cougar sightings here at the Sunday Morning League, and we're talking on the field, not in the stands. Don't get your hopes up. So 1-2 here to Campbell, as he'll call time and take a breath. And Falcons trying to get to 6-2 on the year. Orioles trying to get to 4-3. Relatively short lead for Licka over at first. That one is fouled straight back. After this doubleheader with the Orioles today, Falcons will have another doubleheader on Sunday. They take on the Move Smart Mariners, followed by 2 games, or rather 3, I should say, against the Tin Lizard Titans, as we continue the at-bat here from Campbell.
Campbell's fouled off some good pitches there from Thomas. Kept this at-bat alive. And Thomas has thrown more pitches in this at-bat than he did about 2 innings ago when he went 1, 2, 3 in about 5 pitches.
Here's pitch 7 of the at-bat. This one is hit down the left field line. Is fair. Arlico will pump the brakes at second. Nice job by Williamson getting that ball back in for the Orioles, but 2 runners on and 1 out here for the Falcons. Is see if the Orioles bullpen begins to stir, and doesn't look like it is so far.
Nice play. I mentioned, John, nice play there by the left fielder. Get that in quick. Keep that guy, keep both those guys from advancing another base.
So, opportunity for some damage for Cam Scott. He's got a 983 OPS on the year. That ranks top 10 in the league. He sees one right down the middle. It's hit well to right. On the run is Garcia. He makes the play. That's a big out. The runner, though, will tag as Erdlicka gets over to third. The throw gets by the third baseman. He's going to come across to score. Here comes the tying run for the Falcons. And a miscue in the field allows Miller Lite to tie it back up.
We saw a miscue for the Falcons lead to a run for the Orioles in the top half of the inning. The Falcons return the favor here. Miscue at third base leads to a run score, and we are tied again, John.
How about that? A costly error from the Orioles. And I think you could very well make the case that both teams have earned a run today, but they've also gotten one as sort of a little bit of a Christmas gift from the other team as well. After Brienzo's scored that run after Garcia reached on that drop third strike. This one, though, by Ketchum, hit deep into center, but caught. And that will end the bottom of the 5th. So an eventful inning. Both teams pick up a run, and we head on into the 6th. Right on the same place we headed into the 5th. All tied it up at 2 here in the Sunday Morning League game of the week. I think that ball just, I don't really think that was necessarily a bad throw by Garcia. I think it just got past Garrett over there at third. I know what you saw it all, Brock.
Yeah, it looked like I think I saw what you saw, John. Just kind of got past the third baseman there. Really heads-up base running by Erdlicka. The manager comes around to score the tying run, 1,000th at bat, drops it in for a single. some good base running gets him home. So what an inning there for the Falcons to tie it back up.
This one has been all it's cracked up to be so far. Though here in the sixth, again, in both of our games of the week so far, we've headed into the sixth in a relatively close, low-scoring ball game, but the sixth inning has been when the floodgates have opened, at least in the 2 games that we've seen so far this year. We'll see if that continues to be the case or not, but for the Orioles, this inning it'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters, and Colton Williams, Dalton Strode, Jack Moylan all will hit for manager Tim Campbell's team. Campbell is a Sunday Morning League legend, played from 1984 to 1997, and was inducted into the Sunday Morning League Hall of Honor 2 years ago. So certainly a guy that knows what he's doing at the helm of this young team in their 2nd year of existence. And Tim Campbell has something in common with me and you, Brock. He's a Bradley grad, as this one is skied up by Williams. And put away there by Campbell. Nice catch over at short.
A 2nd all-time in batting average as well, so really good, really good hitter Tim Campbell was in his time in the Peoria Summer League.
And look at Dalton Strode. Shortstop, he squared a bunt there, perhaps trying to keep him off guard. They say they're going to call a strike on the offer. He just with the man in blue that he pulled it back in time, but that's the case. He's not going to win. Breaking ball drops in, though, for a ball, and we're all back even at 1. In case you want to see it, I think we've shown it yet today. We made this beautiful lineup graphic. As that one is hit well into left field on the run, and not making the play is Erdlicka. Strode will advance over to second. That ball looked like it may have just grazed off of the glove, and Strode strides into second with a 2-bagger. Big hit there for the Orioles. We did get a look at the lineup earlier. Our producer Josh Messenger showed the Brienzo's order earlier on. Again, I also want to give a shout out to Joey Wright, co-founder and co-owner of Clutch Sports Media, who helps make all of our graphics and able to make those great lineup graphics you see each week. As you see right there. Look at who's there in the field for Miller Lite. Again, that was a tough play there for Erdlicka in left. He was on a dead run right there. It would have been a spectacular catch if he was able to make it. Nice play on the on-deck circle made by Andrew Garrett.
Yeah, a little half swing there from Moylan. Lightly taps it back right at Garrett. Snags it barehanded.
Kind of rode in there on Moylan, and just a nice little, you're playing catch with dad type of throw right there. And Garrett just stuck a hand out, brought it back in. 2 foul balls. Now for Jack Moylan, who's 0 for 2 today, struck out and grounded out to the pitcher, McConkey, who I believe has a complete game this season, but is certainly one of those guys, regardless of whether he does or not, that can throw all 7 innings. This one is hit well into right. This could advance the runner. It's caught by Scott, and Strode will stay at second. And that's a good decision because Scott rifled that one back into the infield. Good throw there from Scott to Quinn over at third. So Strode stays at second for Garrett. Got to assume he's going to be running on contact here, and I think in this situation, unless it's an infield single, I think I may be sending Strode regardless of where this ball is hit.
Yeah, I think I would agree, John. I think you about have to. You don't quite know when you're going to get another opportunity with a guy in running scoring position again, and with it being 2 outs. I think you would much rather have him be out at home as opposed to getting stranded on third the very next batter.
And the runner's going to go to third. How about the base running there, Strode? Well, there you go. You don't have to worry about that now as Strode just swiped third with the Falcons not paying attention. So how about Brienzo's? They're doing a great job of taking advantage of every opportunity presented to them here today.
That's what you mentioned, John, the stolen base discrepancy. They will look to run. They've done it pretty well here and use it again to perfection there. Get a guy on third.
Garrett stays alive by lifting that one foul, so he'll get another chance here. Big opportunity for Garrett's potential first RBI of the year. On the 0-2 is Sales High. If you're Garrett here, I think you got to be patient, and I think you got to be really looking out for that curveball. That was McConkey's go-to pitch in put-away situations earlier, but he has gotten to the fastball a little bit more recently. That one is chopped. It's going to be a tough play, barehanded, and there's going to be no throw from Quinn. A go-ahead RBI single there from Garrett, and that's why you're happy that Dalton Strode took third, because he was able to score. Would have been able to there from second.
Absolutely. Clutch play there from Strode, heads up to get to third, and then just a nice swing there from Garrett. Did just enough. Tough play from Quinn, who was playing back at third base. Tough to handle the slow chopper.
Both of these teams done a great job today of just finding ways to score runs, and perhaps maybe not in the most normal ways, as McAllister lifts a fly out to center that will end the inning. But, really got to credit both teams for just being opportunistic, especially given how well both of these pitchers are pitching. 8 hits combined between the two teams. Both of them have 4. But Andrew Garrett, the rising junior at Knox College, gives them the lead with an RBI single to bring in Dalton Strode. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Chance for Miller Lite to respond after Brienzo scores 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th.
And nice little scoring barrage there from the Orioles coming on late. Have benefited from some miscues by that Falcons defense and have turned that into 2 runs.
And we're going to get a new pitcher here for Brienzo's. Aiden Nemeth will come in and relieve Cole Thomas, who will, at worst, get a no decision out of this one. 5 strong innings from him tonight. Count up his strikeouts, he had 3 of them, so was able to get more outs, just letting the ball go in play, but didn't really only allowed 1 walk, hit 2 batters, but overall a very good outing, again from Cole Thomas, who has been arguably the Orioles' ace so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of his outs were just a lot of softer contact, right? In the air to his outfielders, a couple ground balls. So really nice job of keeping the Falcons off balance, missing their bats, and not letting up any hard contact.
So we're going to look at Aiden Nemeth. He has also pitched well this year. In 4 1/3 innings, he has not allowed an earned run. His record is 0-0. He's got 7 strikeouts and no walks, just 1 hit allowed this year. So big relief opportunity here, and they're going to need him to pitch as well as he has earlier on in the season if they want to hold on to this win. He'll face Sosnowski, Bakai, and Ulrich here in the bottom of the 6th.
And just what a confidence-boosting win this would be for the Brienzo Orioles if they're able to hold on here, exceeding their win total from last year already. Just, they got to be one of those clubs playing with some of the more confidence in the entire league after only getting 3 wins last year, off to a pretty good start so far this year. So what a big win that would be for the Orioles.
They've had some big wins this season. They beat Tin Lizard 5-0. They also beat Cole's Diamond Gallery 5-0 as well. So it's not to say that Brienzo's is, just coming around and beating those good teams, but certainly beating a team like the Miller Lite Falcons, certainly what many believe to be a Tomey Trophy contender yet again, would go a long way. And again, you never know what the second game of the doubleheader will have later tonight as Sosnowski looks at a ball, but if they can win 2 tonight, that would, I think, really go a long way. Put them probably no more than a game and a half, 2 games out of first place after the day is all said and done. Sosnowski today is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and popped out to second base. He's just one of 6 players in the league this year that have 2 or more doubles, so leadoff 2-bagger could be beneficial here. Nemeth, the left-hander out of Lincoln Way East High School up in Chicago, gets a swing and a miss from Sosnowski. It's a nice round of applause from the Orioles fans here at Dave Rogers Field as it's turned into a much more pleasant night. Temperatures going down now, sun is setting. Just a beautiful backdrop for baseball.
Really is, and that was a nice pitch there by Nemeth, expanding the zone, seeing if he could get Sosnowski chasing, and he does.
Cole Bakai hits this one deep to left field, but Williamson had it lined up and makes the play. That was a nice ride that Bakai, the Falcons catcher, sent the ball on there, but Williamson was playing fairly deep and was ready for that one.
And a good concentration, too, by Williamson, knowing the wall was getting close, feeling for it, and just not letting that affect the catch.
So now Chase Ulrich, who is 0 for 2 today, and fouls that one straight back. It's funny, Brock, I actually saw a tweet from Chase Ulrich earlier. I think it was last night or today, but there was some discussion on Twitter, or X, however you want to call it, of a recent travel baseball game that someone in the Peoria area was at, and the home plate umpire wasn't even, I believe there was only one, I don't know if there were only 1 or 2 umpires, but the umpire was not even standing right behind home plate. He was off to the side, sort of almost where the walk-up path, if you were here at Dave Rogers Field, would be. And Chase Ulrich chimed in and said that the team that he coaches, a travel ball or a youth baseball team that he coaches, had an umpire the other day that rang up one of his batters on a 2-1 count. And
a little premature there, I would guess.
Yeah, and it looks like, or it sounds like, as Ulrich strikes out there, he was rightfully rung up. 2 strikes there, no mistaking that. But it looks like, I believe Ulrich said that he went to go talk to the umpire and say, hey, the count was 2-1. Umpire was having none of it. And but I think that situation, we're really glad that we have the umpires we do in the Sunday Morning League as well. Obviously, wouldn't be able to play these games without them, and very hot in that gear here tonight, especially behind home plate. So I want to thank all of them for what they do for the Sunday Morning League, and I want to thank all of our sponsors that help make today's broadcast possible, starting with our title sponsor, BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Sunday Morning League, and Brienzo is wood-fired pizza up in Peoria Heights, as well as Miller Lite and Baumgarten Distributing. And last but not least, Lori Vedovich, Country Financial in Tremont, Illinois. Give her a call, 309-925-3534 today for all of your financial needs. So we get some substitutions called into us. Ethan Sosnowski moves from designated hitter to right field, spot that was previously occupied by Cam Scott. Scott is now moving in to pitch. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time that Cam Scott has taken the mound this year, but we mentioned it earlier. He was a pretty good pitcher last year and helped him become an all-star. Had a 2.42 ERA in 26 innings last year, so he can do it all, and this will be a big inning for him to try and hold the Orioles to their current run total.
See if he can follow the performance that Aiden Namath put on in that bottom of the 6th inning. 2 strikes and a pop out to go 1, 2, 3. Nice impressive inning of relief for him.
So it'll be the batting gloveless Mario Garcia to lead things off. He reached on a drop third strike and scored the first of 2 go-ahead runs for Brienzo's back in the 5th. And all about getting that leadoff man on, especially when you're trying to get an insurance run. It'll be Garcia, Phyllis, and Campen, who has had a phenomenal day so far. Reached on an error, had a home run and a double so far. Due up for the Orioles against Cam Scott. That went low and away.
And Cam Scott certainly does not want to see Campen with anybody on base here in this inning. Doesn't want to let this 1-run lead expand.
Well, unfortunately, working against his favor is a little trend that the Orioles are on. They've scored 1 in each of the last 3 innings, and they're 1 ball away from putting the leadoff man on here.
And Garcia was the Oriole that got things started when he got to second base on that drop third strike.
See how patient Garcia is here on the 3-1. Swing and a miss, went right down the middle. Good pitch there from Scott. Looks like that may have been a little bit of sinker action potentially. Now the string has run out, and Garcia jacks that one hard but foul. Straighten that ball out, and that one would have reached the fence.
Yeah, that would have been hit a pretty long way there for Garcia. No batting gloves at all.
He's been able to hang onto the bat well, although I think the sweat index, if there would be such a thing, has dropped significantly since the start of the game. Turned into a beautiful summer night here in East Peoria. Again, next week we'll have the Poor Bros Jacks and Move Smart Mariners on the Sunday morning league game of the week. Our first before a little hiatus for the month of July, but don't worry, we're going to be coming back fast and furious near the start of August for the Sunday morning league playoffs. We're going to have 4 playoff games in 4 days coming your way. Really excited to be broadcasting those games. Should be some high-quality matchups. Here's a 3-2. Garcia, a little excuse me swing, and that one goes straight back and bounces off the roof of the press box behind us. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up here per our producer Josh Messenger. So nice job by Garcia making Scott work.
Nice job by Scott to battle back, too, being down 3-0. Get to 2 strikes. See if he can put him away.
And it looks like you should here. This is going to be a tough play to make, but coming in from center is Luke Ketchum. And that puts away Garcia for the first out in the top of the 7th. And that was sort of, again, in that Bermuda Triangle, but maybe that triangle is a little bit smaller when you got Luke Ketchum and Nate Bartman out there who are both converging on that ball. In case you're curious, again, Falcons, again, needing 1 run at the bottom of the 7th to at least extend the game, if not win. It'll be their veterans, Quinn Erdlicka and then Nate Bartman, the 8-9-1 hitters, due up. Combined today, they are 1 for 5 with a walk, as Parker Phyllis, who is 1 for 3 and an RBI today, looks at a strike. Phyllis is a graduate of Streeter High School and didn't play much his first year at Illinois College. Swings and misses there for the hat trick. Tough day at the plate for him.
Yeah, really nice pitch there from Scott. Just blows it by him. Unable to touch that one there. See if he can slam the door shut here and keep this a 1-run ball game.
I got the first 2, but this is going to be the hardest batter to get out today, at least if you go by how well he's been hitting. Campen rocketed one to the shortstop, reached on an error. Back in the first, hit a home run. A deep one at that to right center, and then doubled before being left stranded back in the 5th inning. Brienzo's, I do not believe they had an all-star last year, so Campen, though, making a pretty good case in what could be the first Brienzo's Oriole to be an all-star in the Sunday Morning League this year.
Yeah, he certainly put the league on notice tonight that he's going to keep staying hot as he has tonight.
And it'd be very tough to pick a game MVP for this one. Again, just unofficial, not that we always pick one, but it's nice to recognize the player that did the best as Campen struck out there. We'll wait before the bottom of the 7th before we pick one because this is still a 1-run game. Strap in, folks. Miller Lite has got a couple of chances to extend this one or walk it off as the Orioles lead 3-2 here as we go into the final frame. It'll be Brian Quinn and Lance Licka and then Nate Bartman to bat for the Falcons. An opportunity here, again, if one of those first two are able to reach, or Bartman as well, then you're getting in and out of the heart of the order with Campbell, Scott, Ketchum, potentially batting with runners on base, and I don't think that's what you would want to see if you're Brienzo, so it's going to be really big, I believe, for the Southpaw Aiden Nemeth to retire the first two batters here, Brock.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if he does exactly what he did in the bottom of the 6th, just came in through strikes, got some weak contact, 2 strikeouts, so really quick, efficient inning for him.
2 strikeouts and a flyout to left. Last inning for Aiden Nemeth, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, again, going off of memory, was part of this Orioles team last year. They do have lots of returners, as did the Falcons as well. So it certainly helps that you have some familiarity on your team, and usually teams that bring a lot back tend to fare well the year following. And again, both these teams off to good starts. Wouldn't be surprised to see either of these teams make deep runs in the playoffs, and maybe perhaps a little bit more with Brienzo's, given the fact that we haven't really seen them much in the playoffs. Last year they lost both their games and had an early exit, but we won't talk about that much more until August. Lots of baseball left to be played as Nemeth deals first pitch, a strike to Brian Quinn, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to short.
I believe that was Quinn's first strikeout this year as well, too, so kudos to Cole Thomas for getting that done earlier in the game.
Yeah, Quinn, a little bit of an interesting stat here. Came into tonight with no strikeouts and no walks and 12 at-bats. Again, that was coming into tonight, so he'll still be looking for his first walk, and he's behind here in the count 1-2. Came into tonight hitting .250. Has 533 career hits. Maybe 534, but a diving play made by Dalton Strode at short. My word. Full extension and a huge out to begin the bottom of the 7th for Brienzo's. Holy moly.
And we've seen a lot of really good plays tonight, and Strode might have made the one of the game there. Moving to his left, snares that liner from Quinn. What a play there by the shortstop.
A little bit of a looper there for Quinn. Looked like it was almost guaranteed to be a hit, but how about the full extension from Dalton Strode to Rob Quinn? That one's going to sting for Miller Lite, as it's now up to a pinch hitter, Colin Deering, to bat. Deering is hitting .294 on the year. He's drawn 6 walks, and he's another veteran player for the Falcons that is been a key contributor for many seasons. Skies this one straight up. A little unhappy about that. Moylan lines it up in a little bit of trouble, but puts it away, and the Orioles are 1 out away.
5 up, 5 down so far for Nemeth here for the Orioles, as he's given them some really impressive stuff in relief so far. Obviously getting some help from his defense there with Strode, but has looked really impressive.
Brienzo has recorded 7 straight outs, going back to the last 2 outs that Cole Thomas made. So it's up to Nate Bartman, who's 0 for 3 today, to extend this one. Noah Campbell's on deck. Bartman grounded out to third, struck out looking, and fouled out to the first baseman. Nemeth, who raises the glove high above his head, then brings it back down. This one is lined over to second. That'll do it. McAllister closes the glove on it, and Aiden Nemeth shuts the door on the Miller Lite Falcons as Brienzo takes game 1 of a doubleheader tonight.
Absolutely. What a very exciting game there, John. Saw a lot of defensive plays throughout the game. None better than Strode's there in the 7th inning to help secure that win for the Orioles. Cole Thomas pitched really well as well for the Orioles. McConkey, just another classic performance for him, is unfortunately, I think, going to get stuck with the loss for the first time this year. So, credit to this Orioles offense for really coming alive late and scoring some runs.
That's a huge win for this Orioles team. Again, going up against probably, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, probably the best pitcher in the league in Clay McConkey, one of the best pitchers in Sunday morning league history. And, we talked about it, Brock, before the game. If you can push across, 2 or 3 runs, you got to feel pretty good about yourself. And considering the fact that you get good outings from Thomas and Nemeth, those 3 runs that they were able to push across, able to win. That one, really got to give major props to the Orioles. Falcons, again, right there, they did not play a bad game by any means. And that's just the way the ball bounced. I think that game could have easily gone Miller Lite's way if a couple hits were taken away, a couple errors weren't made. So, really exciting ball game we just saw.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was just some bad ball luck for Miller Lite. The ball that got away from Cole Bakai behind the plate as well, that allowed Garcia to get into scoring position, and then Herdlicka dropping the fly ball in the outfield allowed the guy to get to second base. So just, a couple miscues there, fielding the ball. But, yeah, just an exciting game, and, certainly could have gone Miller Lite's way.
Certainly could have, but Brienzo's did the better job of taking advantage tonight. They didn't get many opportunities, but they converted, and they win 3-2 to move to 4-3 on the year. Miller Lite falls to 5-3 as well. Brock, real quick before we sign off the year, we talked about it a little bit. Who's your player of the game nomination for this one?
I think I'm gonna go with Eric Campen here. I'll shout him out. Had the big home run, a double that could have drove in a run. The guy was held up at third. So it was on base 3 times today for the Orioles, was the big bat in the middle of the lineup that got things going. So I think Eric Campen certainly deserving of the player of the game.
Certainly a good game for him, and really because I think this was a team win for Brienzo. I'm going to, give it to somebody else just because really could give it to a lot of different people. I'm going to give it, though, to their starter, Cole Thomas. Again, came into today, and, it's not easy going up against when your running mate is, Clay McConkey, and McConkey may have had the better stats, maybe the better line, but Thomas gave up the lesser amount of runs and continued what's been a very strong year for him. So keep an eye on the ICC Cougar. Cole Thomas having a great summer with the Brienzo's Orioles. Also want to thank out all of our crew that helped us put on a nice broadcast. Our producer, Josh Messenger, Francisco Alonso, and I want to thank you for tuning in as well tonight, Sunday Morning League Game of the Week on ClutchSportsIL.com. Again, a reminder, we'll be back next week as the Poor Bros Jacks take on the Move Smart Mariners. The first time that we get to see both of those teams on CSM this year. That should be a dandy of a ball game. But that should wrap it up tonight. It's the Orioles 3, Falcons 2. Here from Dave Rogers Field in East Peoria. We hope you'll join us next week on Clutch Sports Media. I also want to thank all of our sponsors again for tonight. BodyArmor, Miller Lite / Baumgarten Distributing, Brienzo's Woodfire Pizza, and Lori Vedovich, Country Financial over in Tremont. But until next week, folks, I hope you have a good one. Enjoy your summer. We will talk to you soon on CSM next week. For so long, from the East Side Center, Brienzo's 3, Miller Lite 2.